folks, it's Teresa over here at Stringfield Ridge Farm. Today, me and Lee are going to redo this chicken coop. We have had this chicken coop for 5 or 6 years now, and it's starting to get old. Some things are, kind of falling down. We put the black plastic up for the winter time, and then we ended up leaving it for a couple of years now. And it's coming down in spots, and we are going to raise the chicken coop. And let me go back and explain that. First off, I would say a couple of tips. If you are a beginning homesteader, or just thinking about getting chickens, or something like that, a couple of tips would be: start off right off the bat with making your chicken coop what you want it to be. And what I mean by that is make it big enough. Obviously, we had a smaller chicken coop before we built the house and moved back here to the back of the property. Up front, we had a smaller chicken coop, and we kind of outgrew it. And now we're outgrowing this one, and it's bigger than the other one, but we're outgrowing it. And that's because we keep getting more chickens. It's very addictive. When you start getting chickens, you usually get 5 or 6, and you will outgrow those. Most people do. Most people outgrow the 5 or 6 chickens and end up getting more and more and more because it's very addictive. And so I think we started out with 5 maybe. And over the years, we've had different groups of chickens. They come and go. And right now, we have 13. Right now, we have 13 chickens. And I have 10 in the incubator. So we are expanding. We needed to do some work on it anyway, and we decided to go ahead and expand it. Now, we do let ours out to free range a lot, mostly when we're here. When we're here, we let them out to free range. Some during the week when we're at work, we don't. But then on Wednesdays, I'm usually off. I let them out. And on the weekends, we let them out. So they're kind of partial free range. Some of the time, they are cooped up all day long. So we're wanting to expand that. Also, it is not tall enough. Be sure you make your chicken coop tall enough. He built this one just thinking, okay, well, it's about the same height as me. But once you get inside, I have to bend down in there. He has to bend down way low because he's a lot taller than me. He has to really bend down to get in there. But even me, I have to hunch over good to get in there. Well, that is not ideal to get in there and clean it out good. So that's been a problem. That has kind of kept me from cleaning it out like I would like to a lot of times. I have probably cleaned it out once a year. And I clean out a little bit now and then just because, I freshen it up and get the old straw or bedding out and freshen up with a little bit of new. But I'm hunched over in there. And I don't like that. So to really clean it good, I've only done that like once a year. And then I hate it because I'm all hunched over. So make sure you build it tall enough. Well, that's another thing. We are fixing to go ahead and raise this up to about 6 foot. And that way me and him both can get in there and clean them and take care of them like we need to. So keep that in mind when you're building a chicken coop. Build it big enough to expand, and build it tall enough to get in there and clean it out good. If you're building a chicken tractor, you go look at another video because we haven't done that, and don't do that. And so there's several things we want to do to it. We want to clean it up good, of course, obviously. And then, like I said, we're going to raise it up to meet. This is the coop part where they've got their nesting boxes. It is taller because it's got the roost bar up in there. So we're going to raise the whole thing up that high. And that way we can both get in there, clean it out good, and do what we need to do. So that's what we're working on today. We'll show you that and show you the finished coop. And one more thing, what we do, we're not professional chicken coop builders. So we just show you how we do it, how we've done it, and how we do it. And we usually use a lot of used materials and things like that, and make do with what we have. We've said that many times, that we make do with what we have. So this might not be the way some of the bigger homesteads that use all new material and do everything just perfectly. We don't do it that way. We do the best we can with what we have, and we use as much used material as we can to save money. And so it might not be professional looking, and actually I would call it redneck, because that's the way we do most things, is kind of redneck like. That's the only way we know. That's the way we've been taught and the way we've grown up, and that's what we know. That's what we do. Okay, we're out here raising the roof on this thing. Lee has started on the other side over there with this piece across, and we've expanded out further that way, and then right here he is raising it up here where it was here. So he's raising up a good about 1.5 feet or so, and he's just taking it one side at a time, and then he's expanded out further back there and has that piece. So we'll have to do a whole nother piece of chicken wire crossed over there. The rest of this he's just going up further with. Alright, so he's getting that roof going on up. I told him I didn't care what it looked like, as long as it was bigger and I could clean it out good. 3 foot bigger all the way around back there. We're also going to make a little area where we can put the smaller chickens in, that kind of a grow out section that we can put the smaller chicks in till they can go in with the big ones. So here's the back side of the chicken coop, where we're adding on about 3.5 foot here, and he is dismantling the old part of the chicken coop to bring it out. He's already put this side up, but he's dismantling this so it opens that up real good. And so you can kind of see from the back side of it how much bigger it's going to be and how much taller. And Lee's the kind of person, instead of telling me what to do, it's easier for him to just do it than to tell somebody else what to do. So I just kind of stand around and wait for him to need something, or I did take the snips and clip the old wire out through there, and helped him pack things and fetch things. So that's about all he'll let me do, because he says it's easier for him to just do it than to try to tell me. We're also going to take down the black tarp that we had put on it for winter time. We done that about 2 years ago, and he's wanting to take that down and put more board. Oops, had my finger in the way. We're going to take all that black tarp down and put board all the way around. When he first built it, it was all wire, and then the first winter we realized that we needed something more to shelter him from the winter. So we just tacked up a bunch of black tarp around the back side. But we're going to take that down and put more board around the back side. So he's about done. There it is. It has that much taller and wider. It is that much wider. You can see where the grass is. That much wider. That's about 3.5 foot wider, and about 1.5 feet taller. So he's just about got it done. He's got a little bit more wire to put on there, and then I'm going to start cleaning up. But he's going to get the main part done this weekend, and I'm going to clean it out, and then next weekend or or so, we'll take all that old tarp off and put boards around that part. So there it is. And going back to my point that I started with, when you start building a coop, make sure, number one, you have it tall enough. Don't do a short coop thinking it's good enough for chickens, because you have to get in there and clean it out. So you want it to be tall enough that you can get in there comfortably without hunkering over. Number two, make sure that it's plenty big enough for however many chickens you may end up with, because like I said, people usually start out with about 5, 6, and then they expand because chickens are addictive, and you somehow always end up with more. Now all I gotta do is clean it out good. And we do like to have sand on the bottom of ours, but this is pretty old, so we're gonna scoop that out soon and put new sand in there, because that sand is a couple of years old and has got packed down, and it gets muddy and stuff. We're going to take this and scoop it out good and put it on the garden areas. We'll show it again when we get the boards done. We'll show it again in another video after we get it cleaned and get the boards finished. So thank you for watching, and y'all give us a thumbs up and a comment, and if you're not subscribed, please do so.